What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video, and in this video we're going to be breaking down the top 8 characters to solo carry in Radiant. And what I mean by that is we have a list of the top 8 characters that are picked in Radiant, as well as a lot of statistics that we can go over, like first bloods, average combat score, and different things like that that I think would be interesting to each and every one of you. But in-depth guides are just a click away for each and every one of these agents. On the Game Leap website, we have tons of advanced content for every single one of these characters, plus much more. Do yourself a favor, go check it out in the links down below. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. Now, kicking it off with our number 8 spot, we have KILLJOY at the 8th most picked character in Radiant. Now, KILLJOY is not seeing a crazy amount of play, and there is another Sentinel character that has a higher pick rate on this list, but KILLJOY's win rate at 51.5% is actually one of the highest win rates on this list. And honestly, the big power level as far as KILLJOY is concerned is being able to retake points with, of course, her lockdown, which is used in pro play at high levels, and is just one of the most consistent ways to get value. And if players just start playing KILLJOY to specifically retake, they give up points really easily when KILLJOY has ult, they don't fight any rushes, and then the enemy gets the spike down, then they will use the lockdown to retake point control, thus giving them the advantage, and the enemy can't possibly rotate away. Now, if you start incorporating these strategies, you can also tap into the power level of KILLJOY, and honestly, KILLJOY is probably one of those characters that you are guaranteed to get a lot of value in your ranked games if you are not the most confident in your gunplay. So if you still want to try to climb to those higher ranks, but you don't feel like you can click heavy head, you don't have maybe an extensive background in CSGO or something like that, KILLJOY might just be one of the best agents for you. Then moving on to our number 7 on the list, we have Phoenix with a 10.1% pick rate in Radiant. Now, Phoenix, interestingly enough, actually is tied for the second most first blood percentage at 16.4%, and he's really tied with REYNA for reference. And this means that Phoenixes in Radiant are being very aggressive. They're getting their hands dirty, they're going first, and they're trying to get those kills. Now, this is probably due to Phoenix's diverse kit, using, of course, AoE to get people out of cubbies, flashes to take space, and his ultimate is probably gonna rack up kills over and over again. Now, something that's actually incredibly interesting about Phoenix is he has the highest win rate percentage out of any of the characters on this list at 52.3%. Now, this should go to show if Phoenix is the 7th most pick with tied for the 2nd most first bloods and has a giant win rate in Radiant, he's one of those characters that you can easily play from the lower ranks all the way to the higher ranks, and he directly transfers. I think Phoenix is a really good jack of all trades character, capable of getting his hands dirty, but he has a kit and the capability to circumvent a lot of the weaknesses in your team. And I do think that he can have a ton of impact over almost any single game as long as you have this skill set to back him up, and it makes sense that he's 7th place on this list, and I wouldn't be surprised if he works his way up this list further. But moving on to the next character that we got for you on the list, at the 6th place spot in Radiant is CYPHER at a 11.7% pick rate. Now, tales of CYPHER's death have been really exaggerated because CYPHER's still a very good agent, still the most picked Sentinel in the entire high tier of play, and he is a very good character. I bet now you have less capability of playing more aggressive and on that lurker role. So as such, you see a lot less first bloods from CYPHER, a lot less maybe individual impact, but static impact across every single game. CYPHER is a very consistent character as far as anti-flank and things like that, but a lot of high level players are incorporating a lot more passive playstyle on CYPHER instead of a proactive one. But just like with KILLJOY in pro play, CYPHER is seeing a ton of retake strategies where players will be setting up a camera in some cubby on point and not activating it, allowing an enemy to rush, and they give up the point, and then when they are ready for that retake, only then do they activate that camera, getting that info for the moments before they push onto site. It's really important that you don't activate your camera earlier because they're just gonna hear it and kill it, but if you do it right then and there, you get that glimpse of information, and then it's too late for the enemies. You push on, you get an easy clean retake with that spike down, and that's just gonna be a very easy victory. And in my opinion, this is a far more consistent way to retake and play for retakes than when only using KILLJOY's ultimate. But of course, KILLJOY's ultimate's great and all, but CYPHER can do this over and over again as long as the CYPHER doesn't die, and he has to be sure to leave that point before he gets swarmed by the enemy. Then we go to the next character on the list. We have Sova in the 5th place spot at a 15.6% pick rate, jumping up quite a bit. Now, Sova has the 2nd highest win rate on the list with a 52.1% win rate. And Sova is just one of those characters that if you really want to carry on a role that is not a duelist, if you want to provide tons of playmaking opportunities and strategic opportunities, then Sova is the perfect agent for you. Specifically in Radiant, Hiko has been playing Sova a lot, and if you're looking for someone to watch, I would highly suggest him. And if you just want a character that gives you all the tools to expand your knowledge pool, because Sova is one of those characters that you could just ever adapt and ever grow and ever learn to give you a strategic advantage in game, and it doesn't directly come from gunplay, because some of these characters you're gonna hit walls with gunplays a lot sooner, and Sova not so much. And if you have great duelists, or if you have a great duelist duo, Sova's one of the best characters for setting up duelists. And a lot of times when you have really high level duelists or good duelists on both teams, having a character that can enable a duelist a little bit better is the best thing possible, and winning on a strategic front rather than a gunplay front is going to be more consistent overall. Now I'm going to the next character that we got for you on the list. We have Raze at our number 4th spot with a 24.1% pick rate. Now, importantly enough, on Bind and Split, Raze has a fundamentally higher pick rate, but in general, she is rocking that 4th place spot. Now, also, Raze is in the 4th place spot for First Bloods at 15.4%. And Raze is one of those characters that I feel like is really overlooked sometimes. Some players just assume that she is very low skill. She's a character that just cheeses out kills, and they don't put time and effort into playing her or maining her. In fact, I think Raze sees a much less pick rate actually at some of the lower ranks. Now, I'm not sure if this is because stigma of that unskilled behavior and people want to, you know, distance themselves from that, but the value that Raze's kit brings to the table is pretty much unmatched as far as taking space on certain maps. Specifically, if you think of a map like Split, where the mid area is so hard to challenge from the attacker's point of view, Raze can take that with ease. She has so much abilities to flush out those areas and punish enemies directly trying to challenge, and she can give her team that mid control, which just opens up you for so many potential plays strategically. In my personal opinion, any duelist player should put at least a little bit of time and effort into mastering Raze, because she can be free wins on certain maps, specifically Bind or Split like I talked about, and just understanding how to play Raze is gonna better fit you for how to play around good Razes when you have to in your game. So it's just one of those characters that I think everyone should learn a little bit about and learn the fundamentals of. Then we go to the next character that we got on our list in the 3rd place spot. No surprise here, it's OMEN with a 24.4% pick rate. Now, OMEN is just one of those characters that is just absolutely needed, especially when you need smokes. I mean, one person on the team has to play smokes, right? It's just gonna put you at a strategic advantage if no one does. And OMEN is just way better than Brimstone. Brimstone's not even on the list. He is off the freaking list by a mile. And OMEN has the capability to make proactive plays, but the key to mastering OMEN is actually connecting with these ability combos where you're setting up your teammates for their engage. You're paranoing certain spaces, you're calling where you're paranoing and helping your teammates through the wall, and your duelist or your team are swinging on these. This is really what you see in pro play, but even in the high levels of play, players are doing this all over the place. And if you could start using some of these strategies in your games, regardless of your rank, you're gonna be able to even allow a bad duelist to convert on a kill, because when the enemy is deaf and blind and they're being swung, there's nothing they could do. I also think that OMEN is just one of the most essential characters in the entire meta right now, and there's gonna be a lot of scenarios where your team needs a smoke, and if you just get put on OMEN and you haven't played him at all, you are most likely gonna just feed and not be helpful to your team at all. That's why I highly suggest every single person at least learning some things about OMEN, because he is a fun character, he's skill intensive, and he's just one of those characters that is essential. So he meets the trifecta 3 that really make him one of the most important characters in the entire game right now. But that doesn't mean he's the highest pick in Radiant, as there's 2 characters that are above him in pick rate. Now moving on to the second character on our list, second most picked at a whopping 29.9% pick rate, it's REYNA. And REYNA, importantly, also has the highest kill to death ratio at 1.17. Now it's no surprise that a character that is very high skill, revolves around gunplay, and has the consistency or capability to actually just, you know, win numbers disadvantages and really stretch your individual skill is going to be one of the most picked characters at the highest rank. Now, the thing is, Reyna is just one of the most picked characters across every single rank because players really like to feel like their own plays matter and that they can carry every single game. And yes, Reyna can do that, and if this is any indication, Reyna is one of those characters that if you have the skill set behind her, you can carry games at any rank, right? Now, that being said, if you are going up against a lot of Reynas in your games, the number one thing that you need to understand is that there's value in forcing a Reyna to use Dismiss. A lot of people don't want to dual challenge a Reyna because they think that one person's just gonna die and the other person's just gonna get away. But if you can make that Reyna use her Dismiss, don't let her get that heal off, then it can be fundamentally better for you and your team because she's gonna be at a low health. It's gonna be a lot easier to capitalize on that kill. And one of the most important things is to not duel a Reyna solo in pistol round. Reynas are just farming pistol rounds across every rank. It is free real estate for them because 150 HP on a Reyna in pistol round is actually unbeatable against a good Reyna. If you see a Reyna, make a strategic plan and make sure you're challenging her as a team in pistols. Do not let her get her devour when she is in pistols. Pretty much in general, this is true, but specifically in pistols, if you are taking a long distance duel or a solo duel with the Reyna, you let her get that devour off, you are actually throwing for you and your team. And this is part of the reason why Reynas are just being picked and winning so much, because pistol round is one of the most important rounds and Reyna is just farming them for free. Now, moving on to the last character that we got for you on the list. The number one highest pick rate character in the entire game is none other than Viper. Now, Viper is surprised. No, I'm just kidding. It's Jett. Now, Jett is just seeing a 33.9% pick rate. Now, this is kind of funny because when the game came out at the very beginning, everyone thought Jett was overpowered, and then quickly everyone thought Jett was trash, and then now she's back to being overpowered because she's just seeing an astronomically large amount of pick rate. Now, the reason that Jett is seeing so much play is as clear as day when you look at the statistics. She has the highest first blood rate by a long amount with 19.8% first blood percentages. This means that Jetts are going in and they're converting on these kills, these first bloods, more than just about any other character. And on top of that, with a 1.15 KD, which is only second to Reyna, she is not only getting a lot of first bloods, but she's getting out with her life as well. Now, this could be due to many different things. First off, just plain and simple, her dash. Her dash allows her to fish for these first blood kills and get out. While Reyna forces you to actually convert on the kill to get out, Jett allows you to fish and maybe not even get the kill and still get out consistently. On top of that, Jett's just the best opper, and specifically at the high levels, using an op, especially on defense, to get consistent value, that's something that Jett does basically better than any other character in the entire game, and opping just is inherently prone to first blood and a high KD. Now, the interesting thing though, however, for Jett is her win rate is the only win rate that's in the red at a 48.9% win rate. She has the lowest win rate out of all the characters on the list. And that's because Jett is one of those characters that has the capability to carry more than any other character, but she is also one of those characters that is very difficult to be the best at. This also means just because Jetts are getting more kills doesn't mean that they have the flexibility of taking space like Flashes, specifically with Reyna and Phoenix, who have a higher pick rate than, of course, Jett. Now, for your ranked games, just because a character is not on this list doesn't mean it can't be a character that you find success with and climb to the highest ranks, but I thought it'd be interesting to break down the top most picked characters in Radiant and break down their statistics and things like that. But if you want me to break down some more in-depth details like differences between the ranks and other things like that as far as statistics are concerned, definitely let me know in the comments down below. But go to the Gameplay website right now for in-depth advanced guides, advanced tips and tricks, VOD reviews, and much, much more. Right now with our special 50% off sale, there's never been a better time to get your Gameplay Premium sub. But thank you so much for coming by. That's all I got for you today. I'm Coach Milson, of course. Until next time.